Will Slot still be here next season? That is the question, guys, that we will get into. Plus a whole host of other things. I'm sure this one's going to be interesting. You already know what it is. It's Kop-Ish Kollab. We've got the boys with us, and we're going to get into it, people. Sit back, relax, chill out. Here we go.
Hi, this is Jordan Henderson, and you're watching Team Kopish.
See, now you're tuning in. It's the main free back again. Ripping LFC to the end, so go on, tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10 champions. We the best, we come again. Kopish clean up in every region. Elevation in every season. Catch up in all the fast match up in real rap. And Drifty Quan tell them this is that, this is that. This is Kopish. This is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool to the end, champions, we the best, come again. This is that. This is Kopish. This is Kopish. The main free back up in your screen, real ones know this the place to be. This is Kopish.
Are you fed up of spending over £100 just for a football jersey? Well, so am I. So why not check out okjersey.com? Right, people, you can pay £15. That's right, £15 and grab yourself a Liverpool jersey. 1-5, not 50, 1-5. All you have to do to get a further 8% off as well is use the promo code Kopish, Kopish, people. Check out OK Jersey right now. And look, Valentines Day is around the corner. Ladies, if you want to get in your man's good books, some football shirts is a good way of doing that. Gents, maybe you even want to get your wifey one. Check out okjersey.com. Check it out now. Yes, people, you know what to do. Visit okjersey.com. Also, if you want to take part in the predictions game for Liverpool versus Man City, scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Our top right-hand corner, your top left-hand corner. Back for Kop-Ish Kollab, people. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, subscribe to Don's channel and also subscribe to Tom's channel as well. Tom will be here shortly. Don Husam, how you doing, bro?
Where's that fucker? I'm gonna call him now.
I've just called him. I've spoken to him.
I'm not insulting. When I insult him, he will come quicker. I'm good, guys.
He's fixing his Wi-Fi.
Where are you, huh? Fixing me Wi-Fi, huh? You unprofessional bastard. Can you turn up on time, please? We're 15 minutes away. All you have to do is just hotspot your 4G. No, it won't be 4 hours straight. It's gonna be an hour straight. By that time, your Wi-Fi is working.
4 hours. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but we're not talking about straight facts now. We're talking about Kopish. Can you stop disrespecting pound for pound best Liverpool channel? This is what happens when you can't get James Redmond. My God. I just hung up. Now he'll come. Anyway, big up to you guys. Make sure guys are liking. Make sure guys are subscribing.
I literally called him, and me and him were so amicable, and then you call him straight afterwards. And then
That was diabolical.
That's crazy work. Hassam, how you doing, bro?
You have to discipline your son. I'm good, man. Big up to all of you guys. Make sure guys are liking and subscribing. You know, makes me think. You said, you know, a woman should get in her man's good books for Valentine's Day. I was wondering when's the last time I got a gift from a woman. It's been a real long time, man. It's been a long time. I need to enter that realm after Ramadan, inshallah.
What gift would you want?
What gift would I want?
Remember, it's the afternoon. It's not night time, bro.
I got was a perfume. Still have it till today. Smells fucking incredible. Because a woman knows like what's an attractive man's perfume, if you think about it. Because they know what smell attracts them, and yeah, it was incredible.
What would you get? What would you do for Valentine's, Hassan? Valentine's is next week for us here in the UK.
I'd get you some beard oil.
No, not for me. I wouldn't want a gift from you for Valentine's.
That's actually quite ironic because I'm actually using some beard oil right now. That was
there you
ironic.
go.
What would you get for your?
Because you try to be a smart ass and put up the taser.
I'm not trying to be a smart ass. What would you get for your?
I saw your hand move. You're the one that put up the taser comment. Don't even.
Yeah. That was me.
Matt is
Amazing.
alive,
Bro.
so it can't be Matt, and Drifty's doing this. So it's impossible for him to have octopus hands, do this, and click the comment as well.
Go on. What would you get?
What
What would you
a
get as a
woman
Valentine's gift?
gift? I'm very good when it comes to gift. Like I've literally shipped international gifts before.
Oh,
Yes, I'm actually really good. at
Overseas Valentines and that, yeah.
jeez.
Bro, I've done a lot. Listen, I'm very romantic, man. It's part of being Arab. I am. Arab men are very
Smashing
romantic.
work. I hear it.
Come on, man. Probably the best one for Valentine's Day is flowers. I would say chocolate. Flowers, chocolate is a necessity, and then get something that she can use as well, like perfume, stuff like that. That's a lot of the time I get stuff like that.
I hear it.
Right. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent. No, in fact, I'll save it for next week. Let's stay on topic. Arne Slot. The question is, will he be here next season? Now, it's probably going to sound like a weird question, but the reason I ask it is because of the Reds Roundtable. Husam, I don't know if you managed to watch it.
I did. I watched the whole thing.
Perfect. Now, I think all of us were under the assumption that this would be Slot's last season, given how results have gone, the fact that none of us are really particularly thinking that we're going to win the Champions League, and we don't probably think an FA Cup would be enough to save him at this point, especially if we don't qualify automatically for top 4/5. However, watching that round table, and again, it could be purely PR, it could be purely a case of, let's get them on side for now, let's get the fans on side, let's show unity, etc. But Matt, I'll start with you. Do you think after watching that there is potential signs that Michael Edwards, Billy Hogan, Richard Hughes, they look at Arne Slot and Liverpool and go, yeah, we've had a blip this season, but this is still our guy and we're going to progress forward with him?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. After watching the video, because I done a morning show, I think on Wednesday, and I spoke about it, but I hadn't watched it. I just had the quotes, right? Then you get to see like the body language and how they're talking to one another. Now, big up the people in the chat. It could be just PR though. Like, do you know what I mean? Liverpool aren't going to do a round table and it's going to be all frosty and they're going to start sending shots. That's just not how it works. You're supposed to show unity, right? Which is the right thing to do. However, after watching that video, there's a part of me that kind of feels like what they're saying, they genuinely believe. And even Virgil's, I don't know if you've seen Virgil's interview with Gary Neville. I watched that today. There seems to be a bit of, we've just had a bit of a bad season. We've had a blip and, things take time. And I'm wondering whether they are co-aligned in that and they're just thinking all we got to do is make Champions League spots and we're good. Do you get what I'm saying? And it wouldn't surprise me because Liverpool, if we're being honest, we're not like a ruthless club. And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, but sometimes you have to be ruthless. It's part of business. Like no one's saying
it's
you have
a bad thing. Let's be honest, man.
No. But the thing is, I feel like as a business, you don't necessarily have to be ruthless. You don't have to be ruthless like all the time, but you can still be ruthless. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the fan base, majority of the online fans, maybe not so much the match going fans, we all think he should go. But there's a part of me that just kind of like watching that makes me think they're going to give him another chance to kind of rectify the situation. They still might believe in him. You have to remember, even though we're having a terrible Premier League campaign, people won't want to hear what I'm about to say. I'm not saying I agree with it, but we're still in the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. Like, if he was to somehow manage to get a trophy, I feel like they keep him. I feel like if he doesn't win a trophy, especially after all the money spent in the backing that he's had, I think that's when they probably go, do you know what? You're still up for review. Because again, you can still do a video with your managers and stuff, but still know that at the end of the season, you're going to get a review. And I'd like to think that's what they've said to him. So this is part of your contractual agreement that you've had in your contract that you have to do this round table anyway. So it does worry me though, because I can't go another season like this, regardless of even if we were to win the Champions League. Like, I would still feel like long-term success for Liverpool is still shaky, because who's to say that you could win a Champions League and then have the same exact campaign what we've had this year, next year? So yeah, I am worried. I know the video, again, when they do these things, the videos aren't normally like the day before. They would have done it maybe a couple of I don't know, maybe a month ago, couple of weeks ago.
Apparently, it was after the Barnsley game. It was done.
Yeah, report was after Barnsley.
Okay, so it's after Barnsley. See, again, would you expect Liverpool to do anything different? Would you not expect a United front on a video like that? Or would you expect there to be some kind of thing where we pick up on it and go, oh, do you see the way he's talking? Yeah, I could definitely see he's going to go. They're not going to do that. Like, they just won't. You don't air your dirty laundry in the public anyway. So I am a bit worried, though. It's more like 50-50 now how I feel the club will proceed, if I'm being honest.
Fairs. Drift, after watching that, do you think it's a case of Hughes really wants Arne Slot to succeed? He spoke in that video about how much he'd been looking at Arne Slot's footballing talent, and he's a massive fan of him, etc. And he'd been scouting him for years. Do you think this is Richard Hughes going, look, we're not going to give up on him just yet?
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
Big up, Tom.
Yeah, big up, G. When you look at the situation from last year where we brought him in and we were going to give him plenty.
Why do you look so different? Sorry, Drifty. Why do you look so different?
You got his hood on.
No, the whole
because the camera's moved from like.
Your microphone's not plugged in either, I don't think.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Does anything else want to go fucking wrong today?
Do you guys? How am I the only one that notices this? He actually looks like a little Tom now.
The angle's different. That's the isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
the camera has moved from over there to here.
Tom, you actually look tiny now on this angle. I swear to God, you need to go back. Please go back.
It's because he's
There you go,
sitting further back. He's sitting further back for the camera. He's like he's sitting like that.
So small, man.
Don't worry, Tom. He looks fine. He just.
You know what? I'm on the
He
stream.
looks like he's 15.
I've come on the stream and now everyone's going. We've gone off topic. Drift was about to talk about this round table I haven't watched, and now I apologise.
No need to abuse.
So the season that we had last year, right, was unexpected by most. I was one of only a few people who felt, and I reckon the ownership probably felt the same. Big deal. He's taken over from Klopp. So they probably was willing to give him all 3 years of his contract anyway to get himself up to speed, right? But he did a miracle in their eyes, maybe, and he won the league, which I think is giving him a lot of extra time. So the season we're having now, I think they thought we would have that season last year. So because he's already got something in the bag now because he won the league, I think it's giving him even more time to get through this bad patch than it would have normally. Like if he'd have had this season last year, maybe they would have thought, oh, did we make the wrong decision? Because there would have been no proof it could work. But winning the league is the proof it can work. So I think that they reckon he'll get through this and then he'll come out the other side and still be good enough to win the league again. They don't want to take the chance with another manager who's never won the Premier League when they've got a manager in charge that's won a Premier League. So for me, Cal, I actually think that he'll probably do his whole 3 years at the club, if I'm being honest, in terms of like, that was how long his contract was. It was 3 years, right? And then maybe at the end of next year, if he doesn't win anything, maybe they'll move on. But if he wins something, then they'll probably give him an extension, but he ain't going anywhere. Do you really see a
big club drift letting their manager go into the last 12 months of his contract, though?
Yeah, because after this season, there'll be no real suitors. So they know they don't have to worry about him being poached. Contracts really, remember, are only about him being able to go. I don't necessarily think it's as... Because he ain't going to leave.
It's as much about a show of support, though. If we really support him, he would have got that new contract now to go, look, we are backing you with 100% supporting this project. Jurgen Klopp never entered the last 12 months of his deal. Every season. He signed a 2-year deal at first, or a 3-year deal at first, and then after the first year, got a 5-year deal. And then he kept signing 2-year extensions when he had 2 years to go to just keep kicking the can down the road up until 2026.
Yeah, I hear it.
And I look at all the other clubs around us. Like, I'm not going to use Chelsea because they just hand out mad contracts anyway. But Arsenal never let Arteta get into the last 12 months of his deal. Tottenham never let Pochettino get into the last 12 months of his deal, and then the rest are just by the by. United have went through how many managers, but they never got into the last 12 months of the deal. The only guy who's potentially going to get into the last 12 months of his deal is Guardiola. And that's next season. And that's because he's probably going to leave at the end of next season and he's not going to sign a new contract. But he is above any other manager in this league in terms of the standing in the game and the standing at a football club. So that's
No,
a
but
special
Tom, he was
case.
in his last year before he signed this new deal. He was in the last year before he did
Was
this
he?
2-year extension. Yeah, he was in his last year. That's why there was so much speculation about his future. I'm sure he was in his last year or going into his last year, one of the two, before he got that 2-year extension. And I hear what you're saying. I'm not even saying it's wrong, but we're Liverpool. We went through all that drama last season with Trent, Virgil, and Salah. We didn't let it stop us letting Ibu go into his last year. We're a little bit weird with contracts recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're thinking, in case it goes wrong, let's not have to owe him all this money like Man U did with Ten Hag.
Yeah. You were right with Guardiola, but that was because Guardiola had been and on about leaving at the end of that season anyway. Because Guardiola's been doing this cat and mouse game for like 3 years now. Will I, won't I leave? We'll leave at the end of next season.
Let me ask you all, though, the $1 million question. Since Richard Hughes was so pro Arne Slot and he wants him to stay so bad and he's very supportive,
Why didn't he sign anyone?
Why didn't he give him players in January?
So they spoke on this, didn't? Well, Slot spoke on it, saying that they wanted to make signings in January, or he wanted more reinforcements, and they tried for Gertruda and all that. Again, I can't answer these questions. But even
let me tell you why that's completely PR. What you just said they tried for Gertruda. When did the Gertruda thing happen?
Yeah, last 48 hours, isn't it?
Last 48 hours of transfer window. If they believed in Slot so much, it would be shown in the January window.
No,
by January 1st, we would have had a centre back. By January 2nd, we had a winger or something like that. And then I'd go like, oh, they actually believe in the manager.
But you know
before the window started. On my channel, I did
be
live and I said I expect us to sign players.
But you know what their line is we look for the long-term solution, not just a short-term.
It's value in the market as well. There's no value in the market in January.
Yeah, so, I mean,
guys, let's be real. Even though it wasn't
because the Gahey one wasn't value because he was
because of the wages. Yeah,
it wasn't. Hughes weren't involved in the past, so you can't really put it on him. But everyone else who's here now was, and we left Klopp hanging dry in January before.
Yeah,
and it wasn't because they didn't.
January's not a market we really want to operate in because it's not a buyer's market.
No, but we still bring in Gakpos, we still bring in Diaz's.
But you've got to look at those. So they were opportunities because PSV and Porto were in massive financial trouble at the time because they'd had bad seasons in Europe. So they
weren't. We just moved early. We moved early because Man United were trying to get Gakpo and Spurs were trying to get Diaz. We didn't
move early on Diaz. Diaz was the last day of the transfer window.
No, we did, bro. We were going to wait until the summer.
But again, so that kicked it. But there was also the fact that they were willing to sell in January for those prices because they were in financial trouble. If I look at us in January, if there's a big player available in January that suddenly pops up on the market, I don't think we enter that race more often than not because that's not how the football club wants to operate. Whether we agree or not, that's how they want to operate in that sense. So,
yeah, but Tom, even the Diaz one, you brought up Diaz. The whole quadruple charge thing does not happen without Diaz.
I agree.
Because me and you spoke about Mane that season. Remember when he was doing his best impression of Rashford on the left-hand side? When he needed to go down the middle. It's the truth, guys. Down the left, he was horrendous.
No, because he reinvented himself through the middle. No. I know exactly.
He needed to go down the middle.
Himself in the middle.
Like our like striker, you know. And Diaz coming in allowed us to do that. And to be honest, I'll tell you guys something. The transfer window that made me turn on FSG was that January window the year before that. I still, till this day, I don't give a fuck what people say. Till this day, I still believe had we just signed a serious centre back in that window, we would have won the league. I legitimately believe it because I remember we won away at Spurs, and then the Matip injury happened, and then Gomez was out, and then Van Dijk was out. We brought in two random make-a-wish kids to play centre back instead of us actually signing proper centre backs to actually go and do that. Till this day, I legitimately believe that we would have won the league.
And we left it too late, Husam, because by the time we made
in the chat, Salah was so bad. Salah that season was the best player in the league until the AFCON. And the other year I'm talking about, he dragged us to top 4. Be quiet. Just because I said Mane was bad doesn't mean that you have to get triggered and mention Salah. Mane was bad in the first 6 months of that season. He was.
When he also was bad in 2021.
At striker, he was different. So for me, us not signing a centre back cost us. And guess what? We might get to a Champions League semi-final or a quarter-final, and then We're live here on Kopish, inshallah, happy, safe, and healthy. And we're live here on Don Husam, happy, safe, and healthy, all of us. And we'll sit here and go like, the reason why we didn't beat Real Madrid is because our midfield couldn't compete, or because we can't have a left winger, or because of this, or because of that. And then we'll blame the transfer window again. So, yeah.
I agree. Tom, I'll come to you on this question. I'll bring up an image actually. That was the image or the main framing for the video. I mean, obviously, Standard Chartered is Liverpool's sponsor. They're the reason for these videos happening, the Reds Roundtable videos.
Yeah.
Is this almost the message from the club saying, we hear all the noise online, we're going to pull on your heartstrings and we're going to throw you the line. Liverpool, support and believe. Or do you just think that's coincidence?
I mean, that flag's in the background of all of them, isn't it? Because they've done about 6 of these now. So I think that's a bit of a coincidence. I mean, from what I know, this wasn't done in terms of like, you know, it was filmed a week. It was filmed like, I thought it was filmed in late December. Like this was just a contractual. It was filmed after the Barnsley game. So what? Early January, late December, early January time. So. It to me, and even then, there wasn't like the full sort of confidence. This was just a pretty contractual thing, and I think it's been pretty obvious that it would take something drastic for them to sack him this season. So he's got the support there, but I don't think, you know, maybe part of it is somewhat going, I don't want to do this whole cycle again of accepting the bare minimum and then sticking by and constantly accepting that. I'm not reading too much into that. I mean. It's one of the few times this season when I think he spoke very well. Arne Slot, I'll say that. I was listening to it and I thought, oh, he's actually saying some decent things here, rather than his press conferences, which I normally don't enjoy listening to. But I think it helps them if the fans get on side. But a round table is not going to do that. A 30, because this goes out the window if we play Man City on Sunday.
It has done that for some people, though.
No, but Husam, it goes straight out the window if we turn up against Man City on Sunday and lose 3-0 again. The round table and shit. We can do this little table. We can do this video 30 minutes. Woo, fantastic. All that matters is the results on the football pitch.
Yeah.
And if they continue to underwhelm and underperform, then they can release 7 of these videos where Arne Slot speaks wonderfully and Richard Hughes has his arm around them and gabbing away with them and making little jokes and everything. It will not matter. Because I think it's been pretty obvious the football club support Arne Slot and want to back him as much as they can, because these people in charge then look like they fucked up if he has to go. But they will have no choice if Arne Slot underperforms to a level that costs Liverpool serious money. We've just spent 60 million quid on a young centre-back, alongside all the spending we done last season, alongside all the spending we've got to do this summer to address certain problems in the squad. They're not going to be able to do that if they don't have Champions League money. So if that comes under threat, or God forbid, he bottles it towards the back end of the season and it's too late to make the change, he won't be here, and no round table can save that. Football is a very, you know, it's a results-based business and it's a money-based business. And if Arne Slot fails to get the results, costing the football club money, it's his head that's on the chopping block. And no round table changes that. I think for now, it will sway some people. Some people will sit there and go, oh, I'm fully back in, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. If it means they go to the ground and sing and back the lads more, that's brilliant, fantastic. Logically, that shouldn't change much of anything. Because Arne Slot has 5 chances a week when we play twice a week, in a pre-match press conference, a post-match press conference, a pre-match press conference, a post-match press conference, and a TV interview, to say stuff like that, to change our mind and to try and win that support back. It shouldn't take a round table in early January to start saying things that I go, you know what, that's all right, that's all right. So I'm not too moved by it.
No,
Can I say
Tom,
something?
I don't know. Sir, I just
No, go on, go on.
I don't think that's possible when you're going to embarrass yourself, Tom. Liverpool are a club that try their best to not embarrass themselves in public. And you look really stupid if you bring a girl to your brother's wedding, and then the next week you're not even with her anymore. But so why did you bring her to meet the whole family? What was the point in all that?
But
Like,
it will
it'll be the same thing. Like,
again,
we
Drift,
do
it's
this
not
whole
next week,
announcement
though, is it?
about how united we are, and then we sack him.
But,
It'll make us look
it's not.
stupid.
It wouldn't though, because we have to make a decision for the line will be that the qualification for Champions League became in serious jeopardy, and we can't. We're not stupid.
But they
Football
told us
fans
he's
should
the
know
right
we
man for
can't
the
afford
job,
that.
though. They told us
Yes,
he's the right man
but
for
Drift,
the job.
Drift. I'm gonna say something here. You know how I've never once seen Manchester City come out and say Pep Guardiola's the right guy for the job. I've never seen Man City's owners come out and go, "Oh, we're fully behind Pep Guardiola." Because when you're doing well and there is no pressure, that never needs to be said, because it's common knowledge. Our
Well,
owners
they
never
didn't
came
say
out
when he was crap, though.
Our
Guardiola's
owners,
rubbish last season.
yeah, because he had so much credit in the bank, and they had done that they fucked up with the squad building for 2 years. Jurgen Klopp with us, our owners never came out and said, "Oh, we're fully behind Jurgen Klopp. We fully support the project." This, that, and yeah, because it didn't need to be said. This only gets said when a manager's under pressure, and a football club can't come out and say, "Yeah, he's under pressure." When these statements start coming out, when journalists start going to the club and getting the line of, "He's got the backing of the ownership, he's got the backing of the club, he's got the backing of the senior guys," that means that he's got the backing to a point. It's not unequivocal. So
Right, Tom,
if top 5 becomes under real threat, that we fully back him. Will no longer be we fully back him, because he's going to cost us money, which will hurt the club in the long term.
But that kind of goes to the point.
Sorry, go on, man.
All right, so this kind of goes to the point that I was thinking about. What I'm about to say, I want to make this very, very clear. This is not what I believe and how I view it. It's more about, I'm trying to think how the club view it. The club is viewing it, in my opinion, like this. We had Jurgen Klopp. We only won one Prem. One Prem. We never once wanted him out. Yeah? We stuck by the manager no matter what. Do you remember when I said, like, earlier on in the show, that we're not like a ruthless club? Liverpool is a club that will always give the manager its best chance to succeed. I think they're looking at it like, well, here's the thing. The expectations last year was not to win a title. We won a title. He's having a bad year. All right, we'll let him have a bad year and see if he can recover. Because, and again, I know people are going to say he wasn't. Klopp wasn't given the money. That's absolutely fine. Klopp was not given this type of money to go on a Premier League assault and a Champions League assault, FA Cup assault, and a Carabao Cup assault. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is this: the facts are, and the reality is, this is how the club's looking at it. Not me. I just want to make this clear. They're thinking, but we only won one Prem under Jurgen Klopp, and he's one of the greatest managers ever. This manager's already won one. And I understand what people are going to say. Klopp had to rebuild, and he did. He had to gut out bare players and do bare stuff that he probably shouldn't have needed to do. The problem is, though, is that because Liverpool aren't ruthless and they're always willing to give people the chance to succeed, my worry is that they've gone, he's allowed a bad year. But when I say bad year, you see when he spoke about expectations, I think he's been told, as long as you get into the Champions League places, I think your job is safe for next season. Do you know that? That's what I'm genuinely scared of. And if you go off the previous managers, the only manager that we've actually really had to sack was Hudson, because obviously Hudson, we know what he done.
Yeah,
he done
Rogers.
They sacked
Oh, yes, no, Brendan as well. Brendan, yeah.
And they sacked Daglish.
I understand that, but they weren't doing what Slot's doing. Did you get what I'm saying? Because remember, right now, we're still involved in a Champions League campaign. Remember, this is not what I think. This is not what I think. It's not what I believe. See, even now, people say, Matt, why are you lying? People want to Klopp out. Bro, you're saying people want to Klopp out, yeah? It was very minuscule. It wasn't many.
Who did
and I know
that?
that as a shot. I know that was a shot at Tom. That was a little shot at Tom. I understand it, but Tom's only one person. He's just one person. But the majority of the fan base wanted Klopp to stay. Let's not try and act like everybody wanted him out. Everyone, he has to go. You might have got sick and tired of him, or you might have got annoyed with him. But you didn't want him to go because Klopp was the godfather and he got Liverpool back on the map. So he's got us back on the map, and FSG gave him the time to put us back on the map and get us back to where we needed to be. Now the next manager takes charge. No one other than Drift and maybe a couple of other people said Liverpool were going to win the league. We've now just won the league. Yeah? They're thinking, hold on a minute. You want the manager gone. You won the league last year, and they're going to consider the club will consider everything that happened around the club. R.I.P. Diogo Jota, players leaving that were like Trent Alexander-Arnold, a big part of Liverpool. They're going to think of all these things and go, do you know what? As long as we stay in them Champions League spots, we feel like he can turn things around. That's what I genuinely believe that they want to do.
Okay,
This is not what I believe. Like, I want this to happen. I'm worried that's what they think because they will give him time. They will.
Matt,
Listen to Virgil.
Let me ask you this then.
Mhm.
Let's say over the next 3-4 games, Liverpool go on a bad run. We drop points in the 3 games, lose a couple, draw one, whatever, and the teams around us win. And then by mid to late March, we're on 8 to 9 points off 5th.
Yeah.
But we get through the next round of the Champions League. We're in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they sack him or not? So top 5 is gone, but there's still a slim hope of a Champions League.
See, this is where my fear comes in. This is why I want to pull the trigger so early, because if we find ourselves in a position where we're 8 points, 9 points off top 5, but it's still in the Champions League, that for me is too much of a risk. But at that point,
it's too late
to react to saving the season.
Mm-hmm.
So we've, in my opinion, we've put ourselves between a rock and a hard place now. It almost does feel like the season has just been written off, and I don't know whether they're going to keep Slot or not. In reference to what you both were saying regarding the vote of confidence or however we want to spin it, they never had to come out and say anything about Klopp because of the magic he did in so many seasons. They never had to do the same with Pep because of the magic he's done over so many seasons. But it has happened with other managers who haven't had that backing from the fan base. So this could literally be Richard Hughes, and because let's be honest, they're not stupid. They hear everything we all say, right?
100%.
This could be Richard Hughes and Billy Hogan coming out and being like, look, Slot, we just want to kill this dead in the water. So the fan base.
Klopp was one of my spaces once.
Who? Klopp, did you say? We'll get back to
What,
that.
Jurgen?
I swear to God, I'm not.
Oh yeah, because there's so many other Klopps that we know of.
No, but I'm just want to make sure that there's not a Klopp or a Klopp.
He literally has Klopp had a burner Twitter.
Yeah, we know this. He said that.
Yeah,
I
he
knew
did. To
about
be fair, I believe he did.
I knew about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
But
he was
is it a case of they've gone, do you know what, guys? We actually just want to show the fan base because it's going to shut a lot of people up. Could they do it?
Let's go back to the basis of the question. What's the basis of the question?
Have you guys looked under the comments section under the video as well?
Yeah, it's all, but those are all bots, bro. Like
They're
same
not
bot.
bots, but I do think comments get deleted as well. I do think negative comments get deleted.
I disagree.
I really don't think that, again, we can sit there and say that there's lovely comments under the video and the video's got retweets and quote retweets and people are backing them. If the next 3 games we drop points in them,
Yes, I agree
the
with
backing
Tom.
from this wonderful roundtable video goes straight back out the window because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Yes. What Tom just said, I want to say something based on what Tom just said.
I totally disagree.
I disagree as well. Remember, it's not what we want. I'm going to ask you, Husam, Tom, I'll ask you both a question.
So I'm talking about the fans. So the fans are getting back on side because of
What's this?
all this. If we lose the next games, it goes away again because we're going to be a real risk.
And in your heart of hearts, do you believe Slot will be fired this season? Yes or no?
Not mid-season, no. I think he's
Husam?
until the end of the season.
I was
So what's the
middle of
difference?
answering
Then,
it.
Tom?
I
This is
think
what we're talking-
the basis of the question that started this whole conversation from Callum is: do we think that if he gets top 4, he gets sacked? The answer to the question
No,
is
no.
no.
The original question: will he be here next season?
Yeah, but here's the thing: if we get top 4, by the way, all this top 4, we need to stop it. It's top 5. If we get top 5 and we get Champions League football, he's not gonna get sacked. He's just not. And
That's
this
what
is
I'm
the-
saying.
I don't think he gets removed even if we don't get top 5.
No, if we don't get, I think he'd get sacked.
No, I don't.
I
Because
agree with
that's what
Sam
he does
more so,
financially,
but I
in my
know
opinion.
I kind of know.
All
what you
they'll
mean.
do is tell him he'll get less players than they would have given him if he got top 5. That's it.
I disagree.
They won't
I think
sack
it's
him. If they were
Do you
going to
think-
sack him,
Do you think they give him a new contract in the summer?
No, but even
No, I
that,
don't think they give him a
that
new
puts us in a
contract.
precarious position as well. And I'll tell you why. Let's say, look, again, if he misses out top 5, we're going to sit here and be like, we want him sacked, right? Let's say the club don't do it. Let's say this time next season, by some miracle, he's turned it all around. He's top of the league by 9 points. Finished the top of the Champions League group. We're still in the Carabao Cup, about to play the final, and we're still in the FA Cup. To go back to him then and go, we might give you a new contract. He might look at it and go, no, I'll wait till the end of the season. Which then adds even more pressure onto the players, add more pressure onto the club. It's a horrible situation. Again, I can't understand the logic of keeping this guy unless.
Well, let me ask you the question that Tom asked, because none of you have actually answered it. And to be fair to Tom, he is right. After all this roundtable stuff, fair enough. Roundtable, beautiful, kumbaya, and everything. We lose 3-0 to Manchester City this Sunday. What the fuck does the roundtable do for you?
Okay, but you're asking me, who's been slot out for a while. So for me,
and can I prove it to you? Me and you both read that it happened after Barnsley, right?
Yeah.
You want to know why we couldn't release it? Because we drew to Burnley 1-1.
No, I hear it. But again, no, I'm going to go a step further, Sam. And again, full conspiracy hat on, I'll admit it. When was the video released?
After a win, literally.
No, on the Tuesday after
Newcastle.
the Tuesday after the window shut.
Yeah, but that's also... You're so shameless. It's also the Tuesday after we beat Newcastle 4-1.
You're not getting it. You're not getting it, Sam. We went through the window as Liverpool fans saying, "Well, we didn't get Gay here at the end of summer. We're definitely going to get a centre back in January. We didn't get a centre back to come in January. We got one for the end of the season. We didn't get a wide play, even though we."
Oh, I get it. You're saying about like the transfer related stuff. No, I'm not against you at all. I'm saying it had to be done after a win. It had to be done after a win too. That's the thing.
No, I agree.
Imagine they did this roundtable after we just drew to Burnley 1-1. What would your reaction be?
Yeah, they wouldn't have done that.
Let's be honest now. Come on.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
you're both right though.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're both right. I agree.
Even if we drew at the weekend to Newcastle, I still think this video would have come out on the day after the transfer window shut.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because of the whole, because you can still look at it. They're going to spin it, which they already have and gone. Well, we didn't get Guehi, we didn't get Gertrudo, but we got Jeremy Jacquet. He's for the future. This club is still planning long-term, medium-term. They've said that, so you're right. It was something to kind of say.
Sorry to cut you, Sam. All right, the Barnsley game was the 12th of January.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fixtures in front of me right now.
Yeah, hear me out. Then after that, we redrew with Burnley 1-1 on the 17th. The Marseille game was the 21st. We could have released after the Marseille game, but then we lost against Bournemouth.
No, because we only had Thursday, Friday for the Bournemouth game.
Yeah, no, probably. So you're telling me we couldn't have released a video on the Thursday or the Friday?
No, not after a Premier League loss or draw. It had to be after a Premier League win as well.
No, so that Marseille win was a big win.
That Marseille 3-0 win was massive.
We lost to Bournemouth. Why didn't they tweet it after Bournemouth?
Bro, we weren't in qualifying for Champions League before that Marseille win. You know, we were going in the playoffs. That was a big win. Cal's right. They could have easily been like, right, big win. Let's put the video out now. They could have easily.
After the Carabao game, we won 6-0. Could have put it out after that.
We're trying to make mountains out of molehills here. This is a contracted video. They will have agreed all this stuff above fucking Arne Slot and Richard Hughes. This is not. They sit there, they do the 45-minute recording session, and then everything else is edited and done away from them. They will have contracted certain things. I reckon we could have signed prime Lionel Messi. We could have got a time machine, went back and brought prime Lionel Messi in. It still would have been released on the day after the transfer window because of contract.
No, because they can still stipulate when the video gets released. Of course they can.
And let's be honest, man, they're not going to be.
I've worked in media, guys. Like, but even when the video's edited, you think Billy Hogan and them lot didn't watch the video before it went out?
100%.
Yeah, of course they did. 100%.
Of course they did.
100. Bro, that's what I'm saying. We worked
to do for clients and stuff.
These things have to get like.
Cal, that video had to get released, though, didn't it? It would have had to get released at some point.
No, it has to get released. But Hassam saying, where me and Hassam are saying, it had to be released at the right time. We just differ what we think the right time is.
Yeah, but for me, right time is not just about transfers. It's transfers and results. It's two things.
I think it's more the transfer window, bro.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway,
I struggle to see how it's a transfer window one when no one was really blaming Arne Slot for the transfer window, and Richard Hughes doesn't really talk much in it.
But they're blaming the whole club. They're not just blaming Slot. They're blaming Hughes. They're blaming Edwards. They're blaming Slot for the lack of someone coming.
But who talks the most in this video? It's Slot, and it's Slot talking about what he would do, what he'd do. Richard Hughes sits there and laughs at an Arne Slot joke, and then doesn't really say much of anything else.
Richard Hughes he's not going to take the main focus though, because Arne Slot's always going to take the main.
But if you were going to release this video about with the focus being on the transfer window, you'd want the guy responsible for transfers talking more about it.
No, it's not. That's not where it would be though.
Do we all agree when the window's shut, we sat there collectively as a fan base were peed off because we hadn't signed what we thought we were going to sign in January?
Cal,
Yes.
who's supposed to be the face of Liverpool? Richard Hughes or Arne Slot?
Arne Slot.
There we go. It's that simple, Tom. They're not going to make Richard Hughes.
No, but that's where it's wrong, though, because that's not in his job remit. If I work as a fucking. If I work as a whatever,
Tom, I think you're missing the point.
Tom, you're missing. No, Tom. What we're saying is,
we're not saying you're wrong. By the way, Tom, you're missing the point that we're making.
Yeah, in this video, in this particular video, yeah, they want Arne Slot to be the guy who is leading the video. He is the spokesperson. Yes, Richie Hughes is there and Billy Hogan's there. They're going to say what they say, but the main focus is on Arne Slot because he is directing the season. It wouldn't make sense for Richard Hughes and Billy Hogan to do bare talking and Slot's just kind of sitting there like, well, all right, what am I supposed to say? Do you get what I'm saying?
That's fine. But then
chime in when they need to.
That's where then I struggle to look at it and go, oh, they've done that because what we're doing is this is getting good PR backing. So Arne Slot had some bad results this season. Him speaking like this on camera and saying the right things and smiling, laughing, and joking gets a bit of good PR backing on the result side. If we're saying that the transfers, we fucked up the January window, we didn't get what we needed, why would I be bothered if Arne Slot's laughing about that? Because that's not in his job remit. I'd be concerned about, well, what's Richard Hughes done in this? Because Arne Slot's got some good PR out of it. What good PR has Richard Hughes got out of it? Bar laughing at the joke where Arne Slot says, "Oh, I don't think he's overbearing, but he might be. I don't know." Like right, that's it.
All of us on this panel are Slot out, right? So we kind of see through the BS, right? But if someone is not Slot in or not Slot out, they're kind of on the fence right now. And this video drops and they see Billy Hogan, Arne Slot, and Richard Hughes sitting around the table. Massive banner behind them says believe and support, and they're speaking positively. The first video package they show is winning the league last season. They talk about the long-term plan, the fact that they want to play good football, results and all this, and they want to make the fan base happy and all this. If you're neither Slot in or Slot out and you see that video, what is that going to do for you? Is that going to make you become Slot out, or is that going to make you go, you know what, my club gets it, my club's speaking to me today, I'm backing this now? Yeah, they're not speaking to the Slot out.
No, but I guess this is where we're different, because I'd sit there and go, you know what, if it was just talking Billy Blob, who's neither Slot in or Slot out, and then
who's Billy Blob?
Comes out, literally random name, I don't care. And then he's neither Slot in, Slot out, and then he sees the video, he's like, oh, I'm fully back in, and then we lose to Man City. Again, this is why I'm not. I don't know why there's so much reading into this roundtable, because it's not. It only works if the results continue on an upward trajectory and performances improve, because they can do this roundtable and Arne Slot can talk about I haven't played the football I want to, and that's the thing that bothers me the most. If the results go wrong again and we lose or draw with Man City, go away to Sunderland, who are unbeaten at home this year, drop points, whilst the other teams around us who made the decision we haven't made continue to win games and create a gap with us, then the roundtable is pretty irrelevant. No matter what PR they did in it, it's
no, Tom. They released that video.
We agree with that, but I'm saying right now, the roundtable was there, in my opinion, put out when it was put out to silence a lot of the fan base and to give a lot of the fan base hope that, oh, we didn't sign anyone, but that's because we've got a long-term plan. Just sit and wait. We signed Jacquet for the future. Wait, just wait, guys.
Tom, you're right. It's hope. Remember, they've done this before it's game as well. They want you to believe in the manager. Still keep what they're basically saying is, and remember, we can see through it, but this is just they've given us the what do you call it? The idea that all right, if you was doubting him, we need you to believe in him again. Don't lose that faith.
Yes, but
Trust in us.
it's entirely
You've got a
contingent
big
on
game
results.
you got a big game up against Manchester City. We need you guys. That's what they wanted from that video. What you're saying is still relevant. What happens after that is absolutely fine. But they're saying right now, right this second, the game hasn't happened yet. The game isn't till Sunday. They're saying right now, this is what we want from you guys. What happens after that is irrelevant. They're just talking about right now.
They also then run the risk, though, of it being even more vehement because they've released this video, which has all these messages in it and has all these banners. If we turn up, the performance is shit. The players aren't trying hard. We get played off the park for the second time this season against Man City. These guys that were on the fence or were wanting the manager out, that decided to buy into the PR and go, you know what, I'm back on the Arne Slot train. And the first game after they watch this is that crock of shit. They go even more on the other side.
Agreed.
They go even more on the
No,
other side.
I agree with you, but
Potentially,
they're just thinking about the Yeah, go on. They're just thinking about the now.
I don't think it's a guarantee, Tom.
Of course, that can still happen. 100%.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think you're arguing just like we all agree here. I think it is related to both things, but I do think that the whole results thing, this is Tom's basis of the argument, which you guys have agreed with already, which is the point for me. So let's say now the round table changed. Let's say 100 out of 100 people, 20% changed their mind after watching the round table. And they're like, you know what? I'm willing to give Slot time and everything. Let's say we lose to Manchester City and Sunderland. Those 20% will go back to saying Slot out anyway. So if the results on the pitch do not match what's being said on the round table, you can talk a big game. You can talk a good game. If it doesn't show on the football pitch, it's pointless. And for the most part, like if we lose these next two games, unless you've subscribed to the two channels that we all know that will tell you if we had better wingers, we'd win the league. Other than that, if you have a logical thinking brain, you'd know that it's all about the manager right now. If I go back in the summer, the only thing that I would change is sign an extra center back. That's it. That's literally it. I would just get the Gahey thing across the line. That's the only thing that I would change. Other than that, I love everyone we've signed. I got no problem with any signing. I still think if this manager figured this shit out early, we could have won the league. And for me, I'm looking at it from perspective of, yes, this roundtable thing is cute and everything, but it has to match the results on the pitch. I'll prove my point with the Newcastle game, right? Because me and you looked at the Newcastle fixture and the release date. Liverpool, as things stand in the Premier League table, are 6th, but we're only 1 point behind Chelsea and 2 points behind Man United. Had we not beaten Newcastle, you'd have to remove 2 points. We would be 3 points behind Chelsea or 4 points behind Manchester United. Now, I'm not a betting man. I do not promote betting. Betting is haram. But if someone put a gun to my head and said, if we were 4 points behind Man United, would they have released the video? I would have said no. That's my honest opinion. That's why I think transfers play a role in it, but I think it's 90% the results on the pitch for me, because that's what will sway the fans either way.
We're going off the premise of what we feel like as fans, right? And for the most part, fans have no part in running the club. So we kind of get an easy way of going, we should be winning. We should be doing this. Because remember, we don't have to actually do the job. So it's always easier to tell someone else what to do. You know, if someone else's girl cheats on them, it's easy to go, leave her, bruv. You're not the one who loves her. Do you get what I mean? If you're the one in love, it might not be that easy. Like, it's always easy to give advice. So as fans, we always go, buy this player, do this, do that, get it done. Because for us, we don't even know the real way it operates, right? But the club, what about their ambitions, Husam? If their ambitions aren't necessarily so, like, tied into being winners, like how the fans are, which they've proven by their actions on many occasions that the ambition don't match with the fan base. I don't even know if it matters whether
not
we
this
win.
Summer though.
They went and spent 450 million quid.
And what Billy Hogan himself
they
said
have no choice. They have no choice but to be winners.
He said it's
you
about
can't
winning.
spend that
Yeah,
level
but
of
it
money.
doesn't mean that they're going to take the risk of getting rid of a manager who's already proven he can win to bring in someone
No,
who
but
hasn't yet proven he can
But then
win
you wouldn't have spent 450 mil in the summer, Drew. We
but
can't.
we all know that they're buying for the club, not for the manager. They've told us already that
Yes,
isn't about the manager. It's about the
they
club.
have to appoint for the club. And
Yeah,
if this
but
manager,
so why has he not been sacked already then? If this is the case, He's already been terrible for weeks.
No,
Because
but
he,
well,
again, you have to
months.
understand the bigger
Months.
picture. We have the way I see it anyway. We have very, very egotistical guys at the football club. And you have to have egos to be successful in football. But I think that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are guys that walk into any room and believe they're the smartest guys there. So if they've got to sit there and sack the guy that they said was the solution, the be all end all, the successor to Klopp, 4 months removed from him winning the league title, and after they spent 450 million quid on him, that's a bad look on them. So they've wanted to give him as much of an opportunity as possible to turn it around. But if we get to the end of the season and the football club's bottom line takes a hit and ambitious plans get derailed because the finances simply aren't there because the manager failed to hit expectations, they will have no choice. I agree with anyone in the comments, anyone who's saying that he will be here till the end of the season. I agree. If they were going to sack him, they would have sacked him before February. There is no point in sacking him now at this point. We're not going to achieve anything unless Steven Gerrard is the greatest interim you've ever seen. We are not going to achieve enough of anything. So they will keep him until the end of the season. I'm on about what's going to happen in the summer because that was what I came into when we were discussing. I still believe there's a very good chance that I'd say it's near 100%. If Liverpool do not get Champions League this season in any shape, way, or capacity, regardless if we could get to the final of the Champions League and lose it. But if we fail to get Champions League football, his position's untenable because we spent so much money on him and spending it on his vision of how he wants to play football. For him to fail at the first hurdle of it.
Yeah, but Tom, you know you're projecting what we as fans feel. That doesn't mean the ownership feel the same way.
When it comes to making Champions League football, though, they do feel the same way.
Yeah, they do.
I think Champions League football is the bare minimum that the club can accept.
We may have never spent this much money before, but we've still had plenty of times where they've proven that it doesn't necessarily matter to them what goes on the pitch. Like, come on, think about it. And remember, it was only 200 mil in net. We weren't 450 in the hole.
Just say
it was only 200 mil net. We spent 200 mil net on many occasions.
No, we haven't.
We
haven't. Yeah, we bought Nunes. We did a 200
we
didn't.
No, we didn't. The only guy we bought that season. He was the only guy.
Who did we sell then?
It was him, Carvalho.
It was him, Carvalho, and that Calvin Ramsey.
I'm sure we had this conversation before and we realized.
No, it's him. Yeah, it's him, Ramsey, and Carvalho. Yeah.
That transfer window, we made the worst mistake in Liverpool history, and we signed Carvalho and
the only window you might be close on is 18-19 when we bought Fabinho, Alisson, Case, and Shaqiri. But that was all done off the back of selling Coutinho 6 months prior.
Yeah. We've never. What about when we bought all the midfielders? How much did that cost us that season?
I'm sure
McAllister,
remember, even
Alistair was a 30 million release clause.
But we saw
Gravenberch was 20 million. Endo was like 10 million. So what are we on already? So that's 20, 10, 60.
Gravenberch was 35. Gravenberch was 36.
60 million Szoboszlai, that's 120. Now, add in the selling of Henderson, the selling of Fabinho, blah, blah, blah. This is
I know.
We've never done this 200 million.
And not just the price, the actual personnel, like the quality of footballers we brought in as well. We've never done anything like this.
No, we've never done anything like that. But the money spent, I'm sure we've had some as well. We've spent a lot of money net.
We haven't, nothing close to
like that. No,
nothing close to this.
Yeah.
But guys, I do want to move the conversation on Champions League qualification. We've touched on it. Now, currently, as you guys said, we're 2 points off Man United in fourth. We're 1 point off Chelsea. Now, Husam, you're saying it's going to be a top 5. It's not confirmed, but it looks as though that's the direction it's heading in. Given that all 5 English teams are through effectively to the next round, whether it be played.
Yeah, it's going to be us. The coefficient is too big right now.
It should be in theory. Are any of you concerned that we don't make top 5 this season?
No,
yes,
I'm not.
Yes.
Hold on. Why are you not, Husam?
Because I think the players' pride will kick in at some games, like it did against Newcastle. Because I think we have too much quality to not make the top 5. And because I think Chelsea will fall off, and I think Aston Villa will fall off. I think Aston Villa, as soon as Europa League starts and they've got to do Thursday, Sunday, they're fucked. And Chelsea, I don't believe in Matisse as the manager. I believe in Matisse, the content creator. Love him. He's my brother. But I don't believe in the manager at all. I mean, they've looked shit against West Ham. By the way, we always look at ourselves only. Like, oh, Liverpool looked like shit. Man United looked like shit against Fulham. They didn't deserve to win that game. Chelsea didn't deserve to beat West Ham.
But they
Chelsea
did.
Yes, they did. That's fine. Chelsea.
Under Amrin, they wouldn't have won that game, though, Husam. Sorry to cut you. They wouldn't have won, though, Husam. That's the problem. They brought in a manager that's just giving them the kind of like the energy, the vibe. It's not even about them being amazing, Husam. Now they're winning games that they normally would have lost. Whereas we're the opposite. We're losing or drawing games that we should have won and we would have won last year.
As you're speaking, I want you to open new tab, click Chelsea, click Man United, look at the remaining fixtures for them.
Yeah, they're
it's very difficult fixtures for both clubs remaining.
No, but they're better than ours, though, Sam. Because they're
no,
riding
no,
because you've got to look at the concept.
I counted yesterday. Man United have 10 difficult fixtures out of 15, and Chelsea's running in April and May is horrible.
No, Hassan, you might even be right.
We have that same. We have that same running, by the way. Our running shit because we
but our players have quality, Tom. Way much more than them.
They've had quality. They've had quality all season, and they are behind them. They haven't just suddenly got the quality within the last 3 weeks. They've had the quality all season.
In my mind,
the problem is, Sam, the problem is, Sam, and the context I think is lacking is I look at the games we've got left, and they are all the teams that play this the way that our manager consistently comes out and says, I've got no idea how to handle this race. They play long balls. I can't stop long balls. They sit in low blocks. I can't beat low blocks. That's all we play for the rest of the season. We either play them or we play the teams directly competing with us. We play your Brentfords. We play your Palaces. We play, I'll pull it up. We play your Evertons.
All right, if we could just go Man United, yeah? They'll beat Spurs. They'll beat West Ham. They'll beat Everton. They'll beat Palace. Away to Newcastle.
They'll beat Everton away from home.
They will beat Everton. Yes, they will.
Ooh, I don't. Everton away.
All right, remember, we're going to come back to this. Remember when I said this, yeah?
They beat Spurs. When's the last time they beat Spurs at Old Trafford?
Bro, they're gonna beat Spurs, bro. I think people keep thinking this is Man United and Animal. I'm not saying that Man United is some type of like mad team
now as well.
They've got one game. That's all they've got to focus on.
One game a week is a big deal.
They're away to West Ham, they'll win. They're away to Everton, I think they will win. They're at home to Crystal Palace, I think they will win. Away to Newcastle, I see that being a draw. At home to Aston Villa, Villa will fold. Injuries galore, no midfield, looking mad shaky. Away to Bournemouth.
So everything you just said, Villa will fold. You do realize that means Liverpool will get top 5 then, because Villa are dropping off.
But you're forgetting about Chelsea. I haven't gone through Chelsea's yet.
Chelsea are not making.
If Villa drop off, then we're there anyway.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Well, again,
I don't think
I've only predicted one. I don't know what Villa's fixtures are looking like.
Our fixtures. We've got City at home, Sunderland away. Sunderland have not lost away all season. Nottingham Forest away. We are yet to beat Nottingham Forest with Arne Slot as the manager. West Ham at home should win. Wolves away should win. But those two teams are going to play the way that our manager says, I have no idea how to stop, which worries me. Tottenham at home, the most guaranteed win you'll have. Brighton away, dodgy one. Fulham at home, dodgy one. Everton away, dodgy one. Palace at home, we have not beaten them in any of the 3 games we've played against them this season. United away, Chelsea at home, Villa away, Brentford at home. Brentford are another team that play the exact way our manager comes out and says he can't handle. This is why I'm worried. This is why I'm worried, though, because half of the teams there, in fact, more than half of them, are the exact teams that we've dropped points to already, or they are teams that play the way our manager comes out and says, I can't handle it. I don't know how to stop.
Do you think all those teams are worried that they're playing Liverpool, or they're not worried?
I think that a lot of our fear factor's gone. I think some teams will be worried, but I think a bit of our fear factor's gone. But when Nottingham Forest
the
only
teams that worry him are Liverpool and Newcastle.
Yeah,
so he still includes us as part of the team that worries.
But Husam, United and Chelsea should be worried because we'll compete with them. I don't think Nottingham Forest are worried. Nottingham Forest have rocked up to Anfield this season and put 3 past us with no reply. I think there is very little fear of what we're going to do against Nottingham Forest. I don't think Brentford are that terrified of us because they played us off the park when we played them before. I don't think Palace this season are that terrified of us because they've beaten us 3 times already this season. So yes, the teams we're directly competing with might be a bit worried about us because if we get the results, there's a bigger swing. But for those teams where it's pretty irrelevant, they're not scared of us. There is no fear factor like there was last season or under Klopp where teams were going, but we're going to get pressed to death.
Tom, can we just here's the reality. Just to end this kind of that little bit. This is the reality. This manager should have got sacked from, in my opinion, from before. He hasn't, and we've only improved a little bit. You still don't know what Liverpool's going to turn up. There's still games where like that. Even when up until we drew 4 games in a row in our last 6. Out of our last 6, we've got that correct. So draw 4, lose 1, and then win 1. That's the type of team that we are at the moment. We're still nowhere near even. We can't even put a run together. Like, do you know how mad that is? When was the last time Liverpool had a winning run of winning, not just not losing, winning 3 to 4 games in a row?
The start of the season, wasn't it? Or was it that run in December?
And I fully understand why you don't want to admit it. I don't want to admit it either, but I'm genuinely concerned. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen. I'm just concerned that, like, until we can pick up some type of form where I can see something here, get 2 wins, 3 wins, that's when I will be a lot more comfortable going, do you know what? I think we're all right, I think we're all right.
We've played 6 games this year and we've won 1 of them. And that was our easy one. That was the teams that's our shit. That was your Burnleys. That was your Leeds. That was your teams that are near the bottom of the table who you have to be beaten. So when you play these tough games and you fail to get results, you've got the pattern there because you've beat the teams you're supposed to beat. We can't beat the teams we're supposed to beat. Teams that are dodgy don't fear us. And the teams around us, we struggle against. We lost to United this season. We lost to City this year. We lost to Chelsea this year. The only top 6 team that I can comfortably say Arne Slot has their number is fucking Arsenal for some reason. Every other one worries us. I don't count Spurs anymore. Spurs are fucking... once they finish bottom half 2 years in a row, they're not top 6. So those ones worry me. They worry me. And then you look at the teams that we've got to play. So we've got to play Brentford, beat us this year, played us off the park. Palace beat us 3 times this year, played us off the park twice. Who else has done in that run? Sunderland got a draw, probably should have been a win. They rounded the keeper in the 92nd minute. If Federico Chiesa doesn't decide to save Arne Slot's job, we lose to Sunderland at home 2-1. All these results I look at, all these styles of play I look at and go, this run of games that we've gone, this run which people are positive about, Marseille, Karabag, Newcastle. Newcastle decided to not play with a striker and were better than us for 30 minutes until he tired, and then we punished them. Which, maybe something that can be long-term, but I doubt it. Karabag, I was watching their centre-back do Cruyff turns in the Kop penalty area in the 55th minute at 5-0 down. So they're not a serious team that are playing a way that's going to hurt us. And Marseille are not a serious team that's going to play a way that hurts us with the way that De Zerbi plays football. Now, these teams that have Igor Thiago up top, Sesko up top, Mateta or Jürgen Larsen now up top, these teams with tall strikers, long balls, quick wingers, these teams that have routinely caused us problems from October to January, we have to play a bulk of them in the back end of the season. That's where it worries me. That's where I'm sitting there going, there's a real problem here of us getting top 5 because we have to play all the teams that my manager himself says he can't handle. And that's what worries me. Now, maybe he's figured out the way. Maybe, he's finally figured out how to stop these long balls. We play all these teams and we get the wins. And then we get top 5. Fantastic. But right now, if you're asking me right now, what's my confidence level? It's not very high. It's not very high because we've just had our run where you need to win 7 of 8. And we won 2.
In the Prem, drew to Leeds, drew to Fulham, drew to Arsenal, drew to Burnley, lost to Bournemouth, and beat Newcastle.
And then, do you know what we haven't considered in this, Matt?
This is what I'm saying, like.
What are we going to do in the weeks where we've got a Champions League quarter-final or a Champions League round 16? Do you think he's going to play the same 11 every time? I don't.
But he's already spoken about rotation.
So which game is going to get sacrificed? The league game. The league game will get sacrificed 100%. So then we're playing weaker teams in the games against opposition which beat our stronger teams this season. Just
So,
so
Tom,
we
let
have
me-
a chance of winning the
let me-
Champions League.
Let me ask you something, because I understand where you're coming from to a degree, but I think everyone does. But where do you think we're going to finish? Because you're acting like we're going to lose every game. So where do you actually think we're going to finish?
6th.
Like, how can we finish 6th losing all those games? That team's behind us.
Look, I'm not saying you're going to lose them all, but I'm saying they're going to be dodgy games. You might win some of them now, but you're not going to win them all. You're not going to win as many as Chelsea and United are. That's my buddy.
But do you want to know Chelsea's run, bro? This
Go on.
is Chelsea's run, yeah. Remember, this is a team exhausted because they also played a Club World Cup. They're away at Wolves, then they're at home to Leeds, then they're at home to Burnley, but then they've got Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, and Everton all in a row, followed by Man City and Man United, and then away to Brighton. Bro, if Liverpool had a run of Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, Everton, Man City, Man United, and then Brighton all in a row, none of us will be sitting here saying that we're going to do anything. Chelsea are just as bad as we are. And listen to how bad that run is, bro.
Our last 4 games, Drift. Have you seen our last 4 games?
Matt's right. Chelsea's last 4 games include Liverpool, Tottenham, and an away day to Sunderland. Chelsea ain't getting top 5. There's no
Watch this
way
though,
Chelsea
Drift.
getting
Watch
top
this
5.
though. Watch our last top 4. Man United, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Brentford.
No, yeah, our last 4 is crazy as well.
This is-
It is. I know,
So
I
it's
know.
going to be between us
Now
and
let's add
Chelsea.
the context. The Aston Villa fixture is 3 days before the Europa League final.
It might not
Would
be.
I
It might not be
back
in it.
Emery to get to
But
the
they might not
Europa
even
final?
make it, Husam. They should really, but
Have you seen the teams in there? Come
no,
on, man.
no, I said
think
they should.
I think
They
they
should.
will. I think
they
will, but-
get to the final, so that's 3 games before the final. Chelsea
Remember,
are
we
going
were supposed to win the
Anfield, even in
Europa.
the reverse fixture with a better manager. We were much better than them. We just didn't take our chances. Man United away, fair enough. That's a tough game. And what's the 4th one you mentioned?
Oh, Brentford. Well, our one. We got Brentford last game of the season.
That doesn't bother me at all.
Oh yeah, the team that battered
Because
us.
Brentford would have guaranteed that they aren't going to get relegated. They can't get top 4, top 5, top 8 or anything. So they'll just be chilling. How many times have we seen this?
No,
Come
I
on.
get what you're saying, but
we
it is.
beat Brentford at home last game of the season if we need to.
The only game that
Yeah,
worries me
we
out
do.
the last 4 is Man United. Other than that, I think we win all of them.
I don't get the right off for Chelsea personally because they've got the exact same thing going for them as Man United do.
Fuck
They've got less chance than we have if you look at form, players, manager. If you look at everything,
Form.
Yeah, Chelsea haven't got good form. Chelsea just came.
Chelsea haven't got good form, Tom.
You
Get
know,
a grip.
didn't they
Fucking
lose
hell.
four games in a row
Chelsea
at the
won
beginning
5 of
the
the first 7 under this manager.
But
We've won
before
2 of the
they've
last
lost
7
like 4 in a
or 3 of the
row,
last
Tom.
7. Yes,
I
under
think
a different manager.
we've won 2. We've won 3 in the last 7.
Yeah, we've won 3 in the last 7. They've won 5.
And back to
that,
Wolves in
and
the
that was
Prem.
under a different manager. That was under a different manager.
But it was the same squad that lost 4 in a row.
So hold on, Drake. Yes, this is the same Man United squad, but why are we not saying the same about Man United?
But Man
It's the
United
same Man
might
United
drop,
squad that
it
was
might
getting
drop
packed
off
under
with them
Birmingham.
as well. New manager bounce. It might drop off with We're all sitting there now.
Our
They're going to
Rossini's
be
won 6
undefeated
in the
for the
last
rest
8.
of the season.
Rossini's won 6 in the last 8. We've won.
No, I think what Tom's saying, Drift,
Four
is
last
if
8.
you're saying this, it's a new manager, but it's the same squad, then we could switch it around and go, well, why would Liverpool win these games when it's the same squad and the same manager when we've lost those games in the past?
Because we also know that we're capable of being good because we have been. Chelsea have never been good with
We
this
haven't
squad.
been good this season, though, Drift.
No, but this season isn't a reflection of the talent in the squad in general.
No, but it's a
Everybody
reflection of
knows
this
that we have
season.
a squad that should be doing better than we are. I don't think people feel that
But
about
Chelsea,
Chelsea.
Chelsea have a squad that should be doing better than they are.
Do they really? Is
Yes,
Chelsea's
yes, they
squad
should.
really good?
No, Drift, they have a squad that should be better than what they are. So the premise
I
is
don't think it is really.
you're both saying things, but not actually adding context of the other side to what both of you are saying. Tom, you're right in what you're saying in some of it, but at the same time, just because we lost them the first time doesn't mean we'll lose them the second.
I never said you guaranteed.
I know.
to
I'm
lose
not
them,
saying
by
you're
the way.
saying. I'm not saying. I never said you said that. I'm just saying as a rule of thumb, we lost them the first time doesn't mean we lose them the second time. But Drift, just because Chelsea have had this new manager bounce to begin with doesn't mean that they'll definitely fall off either. It doesn't mean that because their squad wasn't performing great in Maresca that their squad won't kick into gear with Rossini now. Not to mention injuries and suspensions and things can all change things. We have these problems right now though. So based on the injuries we have, based on the fact that we've got the same manager, our form is very patchy. That's where my worry comes in for your likes of whether we finish above Man United and Chelsea, because they have seemed to turn a corner, whereas we can't seem to turn a corner.
But we just turned the corner, guys. We just had 2 or 3 really good results in the last couple of weeks.
We did that a month ago.
Anything positive and
we did that a month ago, and then we went and dropped points in 4 games afterwards.
A month ago, Tom, when you were doing title.
The other day against Arsenal, as an example, they had that great winning run, and then against Arsenal, they look blunt as a butter knife.
Like, I can't wait to revisit this conversation when Liverpool make top 4. I'll revisit it. Let's just get some predictions, and because you guys are getting away with it, even though you asked Tom. So Tom said he thinks we'll finish 6th. Where do you think we'll finish, Matt?
I think we might scrape 5th. I think Villa. Yeah, I think
honestly, I'm worried we finish 6th.
6th, okay. Drifty.
It must scrape 5th.
3rd or 4th.
3rd or 4th. I'm gonna say something right now. Liverpool are gonna finish 3rd.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right, bro. This is the thing. I don't want to be right.
Also, I will say, in terms of the form thing, where Tom was speaking about the form, in the last 6 games, Man United have drawn 3 and won 3. Chelsea drawn 2, lost 1 and won 3. Liverpool drawn 4, lost 1 and won 1.
What based was the context of the games that Chelsea played? Because
that's what I'm saying, Carl. Based on form, we are terrible in the Prem.
Regardless of who we're playing.
No, but the context is not good for us because we had barely leads. Premier
League games.
Like our context is also
when you say we've turned the corner, Drift, we haven't turned the corner yet, bro.
No, I'm not saying we fully turned the corner. I just believe that we're on the way to turning the corner. And yes, there's going to be some shaky results. But I don't feel like Chelsea are even
remotely. We drew 4 games in a row against teams that we should be
lost and
winning easily.
We didn't win in 5 Premier League games, and then we've won 1. That to me doesn't signify the start of turning a corner.
Yeah,
Drift. Okay. I want to believe we're turning that corner, but I've had multiple times this season when we beat Aston Villa and Real Madrid back to back 2-0 and 1-0. I thought, right, we're turning the corner now, and then we went on to lose the next 2 games by an aggregate score of 10-1, and then we had the run in December where we beat Brighton, Tottenham, and Wolves back to back, and you're going, right, they found it now, they're turning the corner, and in the next 2 games. Or the next 3 games was a 0-0 draw to Leeds, a 2-2 draw to Fulham, and a 0-0 draw with Arsenal, and then a 1-1 draw with Burnley. So after that little run where we thought we'd turn the corner, we then didn't win for the next 4. Actually, we didn't win for the next 5 because we then lost to Bournemouth 3-2. So there's been multiple times this season where I think we're turning the corner, and then it turns out we've just done a U-turn and we're back in the same spot that we were.
And I fully understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, let's flip it then. Everybody's so down about Liverpool and in the context of this conversation, saying they have more faith in Chelsea. More faith in what? A squad full of kids, no experience, without being disrespectful, a crap manager, because until he proves otherwise, Rasheen has done nothing for me to believe that he knows how to handle this pressure, this situation, be a winner, anything. They're inconsistent as hell, and we've got better quality regardless of anything else. Squad-wise, Chelsea's only got a good midfield. Their defense is terrible, and their attack is very basic. So why on earth do people have more faith in Chelsea being able to come through that run of games that I just said, that crazy run of games, and finish above us when we've actually got quality in our team? We just got a manager who's got to maybe drop his ego, switch things up a bit. And he's also proven he knows how to win, by the way. Slot knows how to win because he's done it before.
Because of what you just said, we have a manager who's to drop his ego and he hasn't done that yet. And again, Drift, football isn't played on paper. So yeah, on paper,
hear me out. I've got more chance of doing better than us.
I never on paper.
You guys
we
are
have
bringing
a better
positive
squad.
scenario for them and negative for us.
On paper, we have a better squad. We do, but you speak about them not having a good attack and not having a crap defense. They've conceded less goals than us this season, and they scored more goals than us this season. So what does that say about us? Because we keep on going off the fact that because we've got better players automatically. I'm sorry, but didn't at the beginning of the season, we did a breakdown of all the squads. We said we've got a better squad than Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal above us by quite a landslide. So it's no doesn't really mean anything.
Reflect statistically what you can see on paper. Yeah, I agree with that. But that doesn't change the fact that they've got way more going against them than we do. for having a good end to the season.
But why do they have more going against? This is what I don't understand.
Because they don't have a great manager who knows how to win. They got a very amateur manager.
We don't have a
who's
great manager.
We do have a good manager.
No, we don't. No, you said a great manager.
You need to have a great manager though, just to get top
I don't
five.
even think Racine is a good manager until proven
No, but
otherwise.
even if he's not
novice.
good, but even if he's not good, do you think he's kind of at least changed the fortunes potentially around Chelsea?
I mean, maybe they won a couple of games. When you look into they beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have been shocking for the last few months. But I guess
they've also beat us 3 times.
Because I don't think you need a great manager, Drift. You see, all right. Let me give a perfect example.
But when the going gets tough, you need a manager who knows what he's doing. Remember, they're in the Champions League. Remember, they're going to be tired from Club World Cup football as well, you know. Remember, they played all that football in the summer.
But again, where's the proof that Slot's good when they go and get stuff? Where's the proof that Slot can handle it when they go and get stuff? Because I've not seen
that this season. Slot has got over the line multiple times. Racine has never even won.
Do you think Carrick's a good manager? Do you think Carrick's a good manager? Do you think he's really good? Or do you think he's just kind of average kind of thing?
Yeah, I think he could turn it around for them. Yeah.
I
don't think it's like a guarantee. He still ended up sacked from Middlesbrough, right?
But my point being is that you don't need to have necessarily a good or great manager to get into this top 5. All you got to do, in my opinion, is just make sure you're on point and the players do their job. The problem for us this season is that we thought we had a very, very good manager. Well, we did last year. The problem is, though, he's been complacent. Ego's got in the way. And Drift, we can't be in February and we're still asking for these things for him to change. It's February. The season nearly done. And we're still asking for the same things that we've been asking for in September and October and November and December and January. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you're wrong. The Drift, you're not wrong.
Chelsea than Liverpool for me.
Drift, you know what I'm saying? You're not wrong with your logic. You're not wrong with your logic. It's just that you're putting a lot of faith in a manager that no one believes in. Because in my opinion, it's only he that can turn it around. Because like you said, the players are great enough. The players are good enough. So that's now down to the manager to get the best out of the players. If he can't do that, we will fail all of our objectives, in my opinion.
No, I agree. But I don't get why people would have more faith in Racine than Slot.
It's having
but
less
saying
faith.
Chelsea will finish above Liverpool is having more faith in Racine than
not.
Slot.
If you're doing it again where you're putting words in our mouth, bro. I don't trust because I don't trust my manager, bro. I don't care about Chelsea.
I'm saying so. You have more faith that Racine will have a good end to the season.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
You do that. Slot will have a good.
No, you're
end
actually
to
not listening to what I'm saying. Then I don't trust my manager to get the results. So whether Racine does his business or not, we are behind them right now. I don't trust my manager to deliver. It's nothing about me thinking Racine sick or Carrick sick or Chelsea got a sick squad or they've got a sick squad. It is Liverpool. I don't trust my manager to do his job. So if my manager doesn't do his job, we won't get our desired outcome. Nothing to do with Racine. Nothing to do with him.
Because they're the ones that we're fighting up against.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, bro.
No, I hear what you.
I've not once said I rate Racine. I've not once said I rate Carrick. I'm telling you, I don't rate my manager. My manager's not doing anything.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
So it's nothing to do with Racine. But I got no faith in Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea win anything this season. I'm saying my manager has shown me time and time again this season that he hasn't got the minerals to get us into form to get into the top 5. Because Chelsea and Man U will drop points this season. But can you sit there and tell me we're going to capitalize on it, Drift? Because I can't.
Well, when I look at the fact that they've got harder fixtures than we have, I think we'll accumulate more points than they will.
Tom just broken down the fixture thing, bro. We had easy fixtures. We had PSV at home. We had so-and-so at home. What happened? Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we're not going to drop points in games we shouldn't.
Again, on paper means nothing. Because check this out, Drift, yeah? We could potentially come up against a team, quote unquote, that we see as an easy win. But what if we go into that game with bag of injuries off the back of a Champions League game, going into a second Champions League game on the Wednesday where we have to win and we have to rest players in that game? We automatically go from a easy win to it's going to be a tough game because we're having to rotate.
Of course. But
so
the same thing, the same things apply to them.
No, but I don't know exactly. That's why I'm not looking far into the fixtures. I'm looking at what's in front of me and what's just happened behind me. And in the last 6 Premier League games, I have 1 win. One win.
I agree with all of that.
4 draws and 1 loss. And the two teams I'm comparing with that we need to get in front of, or at least one of in front of, they have better form in the last 6 games than we do. And they've got new managers who seem to have galvanized the team. My manager doesn't seem to have galvanized my team.
Look,
It's
I'm
nothing
not
to
going
do
to keep
with
going
team
back and forward. No, I definitely think it does because he has to actually get it done. It ain't just about whether our manager can get it done or not. It's also about whether their managers can get it done or not. It's literally the same context.
It kind of is just about ours though, because if ours keeps fucking up, they don't need to do much. We're the chasers. We need to be the ones putting the pressure on them.
They're only 1 point ahead of us. It's not like we're 10 points behind them or something. All they've got to do is draw this weekend and we win, and all of a sudden we're above them.
So who did Chelsea play this weekend?
Wolves away.
Wolves away. And who we got? Man City at home.
Oh, you didn't have to make it so literal, Tom. I'm just saying a 1 point difference is nothing. Like, we're not far behind them.
And we're going to beat City at home.
But then we could do. But Chelsea are not going to drop points.
I'm confident we'll beat City this Sunday. I'm not worried.
We could beat City, but Wolves, Chelsea are not going to lose to Wolves, so it stays at best a 1 point gap. But
again, I'm not even being saying this to be edgy or anything. I'm not sitting there saying to guarantee Chelsea win. But I'm saying, yeah, Chelsea might lose this week and we could win and we go above them. But what happens after the second, the third, the fourth game? Are we going to keep that run going? Because again, it's not just a one game left in the season. It's not just one game.
It wouldn't shock me if we beat City and then lost to Sunderland.
And that's my point. Consistency.
But here's the other point that you're missing. In top 4 race, you don't need to be consistent.
There has to be some consistency. Of course there does.
You do.
I disagree with you. Pochettino won 5 games like at the end of the season after being inconsistent all year and literally almost made top 5 by a point.
But he didn't though, did he?
He actually finished 5th that year, but the coefficient thing wasn't even in play.
So he did make Champions League then.
But even if you're talking about runs, top 4 races is not about consistency. You don't have to be consistent to get top 4.
What was the Premier League points tally for getting top 5 last season?
It was.
I love the fact Promo's saying I'm rage baiting. I'm rage baiting by saying we'll get a Champions League spot.
It was 66.
So
if I wanted to rage bait, I'll tell you we'll win the Champions League and the FA Cup. Who the fuck rage baits by saying we'll get top 5? How is that a rage bait? Oh my god, you've really lost it.
And apparently, if you think
your hatred of
Liverpool
Slot has gotten into the level where you can't even have an objective conversation. Even Matt Callum and Tom, who don't even believe that Liverpool will finish top 5, me saying that they will finish top 5, we'll finish top 5 is definitely not rage bait. That's literally.
No, I said we might scrape it, man. But I said we might scrape top 5.
Yeah,
so
it's literally not rage bait.
But it's true.
I think it's
just an opinion, bro. I don't know why people get so mad.
Game, it means that you're slot in. That's unbelievable. So
no, I'm not.
What it is, Drift, you're not allowed to get. Here's what it is: Liverpool are in one of the most negative places that we've been in for time, and if you show any bit of positivity, people.
To be fair, Promo has responded and said he said that because he doesn't think you're speaking with logic.
I am speaking with logic. I've pointed out the flaws of the other 3 teams, and I've said we have much better quality players on the football pitch.
I just think it's not
that they'll deliver in the next 3 months. That's it.
I just think it's an honest conversation where like people have different views on how we will perceive how the season will pan out, and there's no guarantees. No one can sit here definitively, in my opinion, and say this will definitely happen. This will definitely happen. We won't know, but we can only really go off evidence that we've seen so far. Or you can go off evidence and think, okay, well, these things might change.
I think that's what Promo might be getting at. I think Promo is saying that you guys are speaking about all the potential positive outcomes for Liverpool, but not adding what could potentially go wrong.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not.
No,
not
of course, we know
wrong.
things
I think
can go
there's
wrong.
stuff going wrong. So he's saying, what's my evidence that will beat City? I want you there this Sunday.
You said you'll finish third because that team's crap, and Villa will fall off.
Yeah, and it's true.
No, it's true in your opinion, but you've not said. But Liverpool aren't inconsistent.
I've already told you what's good about Liverpool. I said the players can win us games.
No, but Husam,
you're both not adding the context. You're both not adding the context.
I am adding the context. The
quality point falls a bit flat to me.
Let me say this before I leave. I have to go.
I've got to go, guys. I've got to go. Big up. Bless up.
Let me say this before I leave as well. Here's the thing about this. I'm not saying this without context. First of all, Promo, you said, what's the evidence we'll beat Man City? I want you on my watch along this Sunday when we do beat Man City, and I want you to apologize in the chat. That's number 1. Number 2, I've already given the reason why I think Liverpool will finish in the top 5. I think Ekitike can win me 2 to 3 games. I think Wirtz can win me 2 to 3 games. I think we've got individual quality players that are capable in moments of winning us points and winning us games and getting us points on the board. So I think we have 3 to 4 moments players who can win me 2 to 3 games from now to the end of the season that will therefore manage to get us in the top 5. And that's my logic. Anyway, yeah, let's see you guys, man. Big up.
On that,
The quality point does just fall a bit flat to me, though.
Really quick before you go, Sam. What you said about Wirtz Ekitike, fully agree, because they won us that Newcastle game. But could you not argue that Palmer and João Pedro, for example, could win games for Chelsea then?
No, because Palmer's injured and he's unhappy at Chelsea. He's literally injured and he's literally you know he needs surgery. Don't be pedantic.
He's playing with injury.
He's playing through an injury. The reason why he's not getting surgery is because it's a World Cup season. And also Palmer has less GA than fucking like Endo in the last year. And
never said he's been great this season.
Yeah, okay, so my answer is no, he can't win them games.
Okay, so that for me, that's not.
Okay, and João Pedro for me can't win them games either. They don't have enough moments players. Their best player in the whole team is their right back, who's also injury prone. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, let's see you guys, man.
That's right. I think that's where the disagreement is.
Yeah. We'll discuss this some other time.
Always. No, big up is always on Sam, bro.
Yeah, big up, bro. I just don't know why everybody. And again, I understand the worries about Liverpool. Of course, I do. We haven't been good, but I'm very surprised at the positivity of feeling Chelsea can get it done when there's no proof that they can get it done.
Because there's a real positivity in there.
Hold on. Where's the positivity that Chelsea will get it done?
By knocking back any notion that Liverpool will be better than them.
I've not knocked back any notion. I've just added context to saying that everything you said about Chelsea, you could say about us, but even worse in some aspects. I'm not.
But you could also say the bad things about us for Chelsea.
No, but you said the bad things. So I'm saying on the other side of that, Liverpool are just as bad, and if not, have been worse. But again, to reiterate, I'm not sitting here saying Chelsea are good or very good. I'm saying my team's very bad, and we're currently behind Chelsea. So therefore, logic will tell you that even if we do pip Chelsea to it, it's not going to be an easy, plain sailing thing. Even if we think Chelsea,
no, I never said it'll be easy.
No, but you're making it out like I'm saying Chelsea are going to be so hard to overthrow, and man, no, I'm saying my team's going to be so hard to get into form to get top 4. Because if we're basing,
and I understand where you're coming from.
If we're basing it on last season, right? And again, points tallies they change. Newcastle got top 5 by getting 66 points last season, right? 66 points. We're currently on 39 points. So we need 27 points from the last 14 games to get 66
we need
points.
9 wins.
Which again, might not even guarantee it. Might be less than that though as well. We might only need 7 depending on what Man United and Chelsea do. But you sitting there confidently telling me that we can get 9 wins in our next 14 games based on how the season's gone so far, our current manager, and the injury situation we have, Drew.
Not comfortably, but I definitely think we're capable, yeah.
And never said we're capable. Do you think we will get 9 wins out of the last 14?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So again, nothing to do with Chelsea.
But again, like I said, if we're going to use the same logic, based on how bad Chelsea's fixtures are they going to get 9 wins in the next 14?
They don't need to because they're already above us.
All they need to do is match. All they need to do is match what we do. All they need to do is match what we do.
Twice by 1
point. What you're not saying, logically,
1 point is a big thing.
It's factually you lot are right, but 1 point in football is so small of a gap. It isn't going to be like literally. If we were like 8 points behind.
We need 2 more Premier Leagues. 1 point.
One point is a small gap until it isn't. When teams start matching your results and 1 point stays 1 point, stays 1 point, stays 1 point, becomes 4 points, becomes 1 point, stays 1 point, stays 1 point. That 1 point is fucking massive. At the end of the day, the point which loses me here is what was the big thing? Why everyone wanted new manager to get the good feeling back in the football club? Because if the good feeling's back in the football club, you can go on to achieve good things. The one thing United and Chelsea have at the minute that we're struggling to get on a consistent basis is a good feeling in the football club.
Check this.
United. This is the happiest United have been for fucking years.
Check this. I'm not even trying to do the negativity thing. How many people over the last couple of days have been like, we are smoking Man City. They ain't got a chance against us at Anfield. We're going to batter Man City. They're crap, this, that, and the other. Man City is second in the league with the same form table we've got in the last 6 games, but yet we're sitting there saying we're going to batter them. Based on what?
On how they play.
So what about how we play?
But we play well against teams who have an open defense, high
They
line.
literally beat us 3-0 3 months ago.
They packed us in 3-0.
That was when we were right in the middle of like what the hell's going on here.
That was coming off the back of beating Villa 2-0 and Real Madrid.
No, but we were all over the place in terms of like, you have to admit that when you look at the team now, the team doesn't seem as confused as they did back then with what the instructions were. That was that period where we were like really looking at the team and thinking, no one even knows what they're doing.
We've just drawn 4 games.
All I see now,
one in the last 6.
All I see now is a team
one
that is too afraid to attack. All I see now is a team that's constantly being put out to not lose rather than to win. And
but it's also a team who's learned how to be able to exploit a high line or a team that doesn't just sit back and defend in the box.
Like who? The last team we played that played the high line were Bournemouth and they beat us 3-2 and played us off the park.
Yeah, but there was circumstances, the silly little thing from Virgil and all that kind of stuff. If you look at the Marseille game and you look at the Newcastle game,
European football is different. European football is different.
No, it is different, but it was still a team who felt like they were able to play their football and didn't have to sit deep and defend. And we did very well against them. Then Newcastle tried to do the same thing, and we did well against them. Man City go in that bracket. They believe in their brand of football. They won't sit deep. They won't defend, and they have a high line. Marseille and Newcastle are very similar in that regard. So if we do well against those teams, it makes me believe we'll do well against Man City.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm giving you the logic, and you're ignoring what I'm saying. If you
I don't get your Newcastle point. I don't get your Newcastle point because Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle played a higher line in the way they wanted to play. They took out their strikers because they wanted to change how they play to play.
But they also didn't sit deep in a low block.
All right, Drift, you're saying this
logic. Deep in a low block.
Check this, Drift. Check this. You say Man City go and play their football and they're going to play a high line. How did they play against Arsenal away from home?
Mm-hmm.
For the last 20 minutes, yes, they went very defensive.
Last 20 minutes?
Wouldn't say
for the last half an hour. Yeah, they went very defensive.
But they
haven't done
goal.
That all season. That was the only game they've done that all season.
You're right, Drift, right? Because they looked at Arsenal as a genuine threat on the counter-attack potentially, or genuine threat, full stop.
So you think they'll play low block against
Jurgen Klopp, how did we play against teams? High line, aggressive, pressing from the front. When we beat them, when Salah played against, and Salah scored when he sponged out Cancelo, who was the assistant manager? Pep Linders, right? How did we play in that game? Low block.
Yep.
So you think that they'll come to Anfield with a low block?
I can't rule it out. You can't rule it out.
I'm sitting there saying I would not be surprised if Man City came and were way more concerned.
What players do they have in their squad, even if that is what they want to do? What players do they have in their squad that will be capable for 90 minutes of keeping Liverpool out at Anfield?
They might not need 90 minutes. That's the point.
No, but you need to have good defenders to have a low block for 90 minutes.
We can do that, Drift, because you know what? Man City kept the clean sheet against us earlier this season, so whoever was in that back line, I can somewhat trust.
But again, that was away from home.
Crystal Palace have kept 3 clean sheets against us, and they've now bought Crystal Palace's best defender to go into their back line. So their left back kept the clean sheet.
I get it. He's a good defender.
Their left back kept the clean sheet against us. Their right back kept the clean sheet against us.
No, but that was playing a different way of football at home. You lot saying low block for 90 minutes. All they're going to do is defend. How do they keep us out?
I'm not saying 90 minutes. I'm saying that they will go for the goal.
They're definitely going to come and play high line at Anfield.
Maybe not a high line, but they play an open, more attacking-based style of football that will be more suited to the way Liverpool play.
But they played that.
So now, if you guys don't think that we can play well against their style,
we haven't beat.
If you don't think we can play well against their style and we don't play well against a low block, then that means that we can't play well, period, then.
We haven't really been playing well.
Exactly.
Period.
We did play well against Marseille and we did play well against Newcastle. Literally, the last 3 games we played, we played well.
You can bundle your way to good performances. You can bundle your way to good performances. But in Europe can't just be played down in terms of if the style is similar.
Okay, where did Spurs finish in the Champions League group?
No, but the caveat is also that they had really
simple
easy
question.
games.
Where did Spurs finish?
They finished 4th.
Okay, are Spurs a good team?
No, at the moment.
So
no.
are we in agreement then that European football is very different to Premier League football?
No, but you're removing that every team they played was a Europa League level team as well. They didn't play the Inter Milans and the Bayern Munichs or anything like. Did you see how crap the teams were that
They
Tottenham
played
had?
PSG.
So I'll hold on. Are Marseille
That was the only team they played in PSG.
Hold on. You just said we played really well in the last 3 games. 2 of those 3 games was against Marseille and Karabakh.
Yeah, and Marseille play a similar kind of
hold
like.
on. Is Karabakh and Marseille, are they Europa level or are they Champions League level? They're Europa.
Probably Europa level.
So the same thing you said about Spurs, you can say about us then.
But Marseille are a better team than the majority of the teams that they played.
Marseille
and
and
they play a
Dortmund
similar
are pretty much the
style.
same.
Marseille and
Dortmund
Dortmund at the same level.
The point I'm making is they play a similar style of football where they play more open, they play to their strengths, they don't worry about the opposition, they don't play in a low block, and they try and play their football. And more times than not, when Liverpool play a team like that, we are able to more do what we want to do in those games. So therefore,
the next game we play the Premier League team,
at the end of the day, let's just agree to disagree, because I don't want to try and convince you. There's no point in this. But if you lot believe we're going to get beaten by Man City, that's fine.
When did we say we'd get beaten by wait. When did we say we'd get beaten by Man City?
Well, the way you lot are talking.
No. When did we say we'd lose to Man City? When have we once said in this stream?
But you're all trying to convince me that I'm wrong for thinking we're
I'm not.
beat Man City.
No. I'm not trying to convince you.
So why am I having to explain myself?
Because you and other people have said we're going to smash Man City, and I said, what logic is that based off? Not once have I said we can't beat Man City, and not once have I said we're going to get smoked.
But you've ignored everything I said about why.
You've ignored everything I've said, and you've put your spin on it because I don't agree with you. You've now said that I said we're going to lose to Man City when I've not once said that.
Yeah, but no, maybe you didn't say we're going to lose to them, but me having to convince you that we can win means you don't believe we can win.
No, I'm sitting there saying, why is everyone saying we're going to smoke Man City based off what logic?
All right, and I've given you the logic. How bad they are, how bad they defend, and stylistically, they play where football Liverpool seem to like playing against. Forget about what happened at the Etihad. That was a long time ago. We beat Arsenal at home, but we didn't beat them away. 2 different games, 2 different scenarios. Man City are playing terrible football. They have no confidence in the team at the moment. Stylistically, they suit the way we like to play. And if you actually go off the individuals, right now, Haaland is out of form for them. Rodri's out of form for them. Foden's out of form for them. Shirky's the only one, and Semenyo, who kind of are looking like they're like playing all right. Everyone else is out of form in that Man City team. They are not playing good football. Have you watched Man City for the last 3 or 4 games?
Have you watched us drift?
For the last 3 or 4 games, yeah, and we played well. I haven't actually been.
When you say the last 3 or 4, are you talking about the league or all competitions?
This is where you lose.
All competitions count, guys, because we have played in all competitions.
And the reason I'm saying
that Karabakh game is the most irrelevant game for any.
I've never said Karabakh. The Marseille game and the Newcastle game are the games that make me believe that when we play stylistically against
out of the last 4 games, there's 2 decent performances. Out of the last 4 games, there's 2 games that you look at and go, yeah.
And we also lost.
Out of City's last 4 or 5 games, they've struggled against everyone except for Wolves, and even the Wolves win. They struggled in that win as well.
Man City's last 4 was the 3-1 to Newcastle, the 2-2 to Tottenham, a 2-0 win against Galatasaray, who we lost to, and a 2-0 win against Wolves. So
Tom,
no.
But you also have to count the 3 draws they had before that because they were diabolical.
But you're not speaking about the draws before.
We had 4 draws before our run.
Because when you look at the Man City form, the Wolves win they struggled with, they're bottom of the table. Let's not big up a win at home, struggling against the bottom of the table.
You're big
and the game against
That's what we did.
And the game against Tottenham, they were 2-0 up against Tottenham and shit the bed.
You're bigging up a win against Karabakh.
No, when did I mention Karabakh? When have I ever mentioned Karabakh?
You said the last 3 or 4 results have been very good. Karabakh was in the last 3 or 4 games.
But I said Marseille and Newcastle were the 2 games specifically, stylistically, why I believe
the last 3 or 4 games, bro. Karabakh falls into that remit.
Yeah.
So,
but that is a game. That is a one. The form of Man City is at this present time, for them, extremely worrying.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming to Anfield. Let's also add in, they haven't won at Anfield for how many seasons?
A long time.
5
So when you
seasons,
look at their poor
6
form,
seasons.
their record at their record at Anfield, and the style that they play, everything suggests that they are going to struggle in this game way more than we are. Everything suggests. Now, football's weird. Anything can happen. Of course it can. But you're telling me to give you a reason why, and I've given you logical reasons as to why I think Liverpool will win this game comfortably. If we don't, we don't. That's football. But at the end of the day, they going into this game, they've got way more worries than we are. I reckon if you spoke to Man City fans, they're way more worried about this game than we are.
If a Man City fan said to you right now, we're going to smoke Liverpool, what would you say to them?
I would say, give me a reason why you believe that.
You think they're being a bit like, raw, that's a bit crazy.
Yeah, maybe people saying we'll smoke them might be a bit like hyperbolic, but beating them, I definitely think it's very easy to logically believe why we'll beat them.
Yeah, we could beat them. The whole point there, like, I get the argument of City's form is bad, but our form is pretty much the exact same as theirs. Like, the point where, and the idea of, because I think this is something the manager's cultivated, the idea that we're so much better against teams that play a high line. We're not. We're not. Like, the last team that played a high line against us, we lost to in Bournemouth. Marseille we beat, but again, you can look at it differently. That's fine. I'm not putting much weight on these European performances translating well to the Premier League. I don't think they translate very well because I don't think the team's quality is the same. I don't think the intensity is the same. So the last team, because the last time we played the high line before that was what? City again. Really?
It isn't necessarily just a high line, Tom. It's the fact that defensively their structure is all over the place. And I mean all over the place. Have you actually watched City this season?
Yes.
They are all over the place defensively, bro. Newcastle in that game the other day, the Carabao Cup game, if Newcastle actually took their chance, do you know they probably would have won the game? Wissa missed about 2 or 3 unbelievable chances. I think Walter Made missed the chance. Gordon missed 2 chances in the first. Like, Newcastle actually should have won that game.
Yeah, I hear it, Drift.
They are all over the place defensively.
If you're saying Man City is all over the place defensively, but they've conceded 10 less goals than us this season.
Yeah, but I think a lot of our goals conceded is just really stupid individual mistakes, whereas they structurally look really bad. Like, if your structure's bad, then it doesn't even matter what's going on.
Our structure's not great, though.
No, but it's better than theirs. It's definitely better. If you take away our individual mistakes, our structure defensively is better.
I can't. But the individual mistakes are a byproduct of the structure. At the end of the day,
no. Van Dijk doing that stupidness against Bournemouth got fuck all to do with structure. As an example,
not all of them.
Konate giving away a penalty to get Leeds back in the game is nothing to do with structure.
Yeah, that was a mistake that was born from the fact that the structure was a problem because we had no one on the right hand side, so they were able to just bypass our right hand side so easily.
He could have just stood up and let that go off for a goal kick.
He could have done. He could have done drift. He could have done, but he was put in that position because the structure was so open and led to the lead progression there.
Good position to just see that out for a goal kick.
I've got 10 minutes to go. Let me do through the super chats, guys. We'll agree to disagree. Bartha says, Cal voice be sounding bare zesty on that OK jersey.
I know, you're very loud on them. You get close to the mic. It feels like ASMR or something.
Ty says, Sam walking all up the smelling, walking up all the smelling oud. Big up Gaz says, No. I once applied to the Spurs job via email. They advised me I wasn't qualified enough. True story. Alonso or Cesc, please bring enjoyment back. I hear it. Big up official AMD says, we know Husam likes fatal attraction hashtag thing between love and hate for Valentines. That bunny boiler slash blade in the cake as a warning type love. Scary hours. Big up you, man. Blessings to you and your families. Big up yourself, AMD, as always. Big up to Les that says Hassam's right. Tom looks about 12. Yeah. Big up Aquia for the salute. Hope you're well, bro. Big up to Sultan says, big up lads. Mansaf or jerk chicken. I've never tried Mansaf, so I'll probably go jerk chicken anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Big up. Minor says, Cow Drifty said, time for you to say it. I'm not saying it ever, bro. So yeah.
And I've never said that either. So.
Big up to Sean says, even as slot in, if he doesn't get Champions League, he goes, in my opinion. I believe when I see it at this point, man. Aminor says, Matt Drift said it. Time for you to say it. You did say that. I ain't saying that either. Matt won't say it either. Ash says, it's Champions League football with Slot next year or Europa with a new coach. They won't sack him if we make Champions League. They'll give him another chance. That's my worry as well. Riz says, we play Sunderland and Forest away after City. We lose both, plus our run is hard. United away as well. We won't make top 5. Bring it in, Alonso. Time will tell.
That's my worry. It's just the teams that we play, the teams that this season we've struggled against. Our styles do not match up well.
I understand you lost trepidation, by the way. That I'm not acting like we haven't been poor all season.
Like that's what worries me. And I'm worried about the fact that should we fail to get top 5, how many years back does that set us?
But if that was the case, then they would have got rid of. Because here's the thing, and not to stop the supers, Cal. If you actually deep it, the risk of keeping him and then us failing to get top 5, if they felt the risk was that big, I don't even think they'd give him to the end of the season. So they clearly have some kind of contingency plan in case it goes wrong. They have to. Otherwise, why would they take such a risk?
I'd love to believe that, Drift, but maybe I'm being slightly overly negative here. I just worry about egos. I think that the guys in charge are very egotistical. That's not a bad thing in certain aspects, but for this sacking him mid-season would be like admitting they're wrong on a really bad level. I don't think they've wanted to do that. I think they've wanted to give him as much time to turn it around, but there's some stuff that can't be ignored. And I think that they were very happy with the fact that we had like the most revenue out of any Premier League club last season. Promise you now we won't have that next season.
Wouldn't their egos be just as damaged if we don't get top 5 though?
Could be both.
To a degree, yeah, but it's a very weird thing, isn't it?
Accurate says, if Tom, if we get top 5, he's not going anywhere next season. That's the point. That's the worry. So are you guys confident he wins us?
I don't think it can be 100% unequivocal that he's not going to go. I think that should certain managers be available and voice their desire to come, I don't think the football club turns down Luis Enrique if Luis Enrique leaves PSG and goes, I'd love to manage Liverpool. I think I could do wonders there. I also think that Nagelsmann's another one that Michael Edwards loved. Absolutely loved him. So if he suddenly left Germany and went, you know what, I'd love to take over a Premier League club, that's one where I think the club would really weigh it up. I'll be honest, I think they might have gone off Alonso a little bit. Because the opportunity has been there to get Alonso and they've not pulled the trigger at any point. So that to me makes me think they've gone off him.
Shout out to Noor says, Drift, big up the slot in gang. Noor also says, I'm still in the middle, was PR 100%, but I'm still 50-50. That's absolutely fine, though. Bartha says, Drift bringing his A game with a gal and the relationship analogies. Say says, big up the man, them. Hope you have a good one. Big up yourself as well. Noor goes on to say, Alonso for Slot, but Slot could turn it around in the EPL. Could. Also, Slot comments get twisted a lot because people hate him now.
I do agree with that. I think sometimes he gets taken out of context because people don't like him.
I think Slot's English is good enough to know what he's saying these days. S-Jot says, Tom, I'll never forgive you for comparing Darwin to a younger Mane when he was linked and saying he's a like-for-like replacement. Husam, please talk to your son. We'll speak about it offline.
I never... The only time I compared Nunes to Mane was in his first season when he was missing loads of chances, and I said, guys, let's not forget that there was seasons where Sadio Mane missed loads of chances. But eventually he came good. I was wrong. God forbid I was wrong on something. Fucking hell, we all know how often that happens.
Big up to Sadiq, who says, for Cal to do his best R. Kelly impersonation, the barbers calling here. I can hear it calling. Big up. I'm booking my appointments next week. I'm booking my
That's a
phone.
bit savage, isn't it?
Shawnee says, big up Husam, showing positivity through negativity. Stand tall, brother. I forgot, if you say anything that's not remotely absolutely positive, then you're absolutely negative. Big up yourself, Shawnee. Noor says, guys, even if you slot out, be mentally prepared for the stay. I am now, to be fair. Tev says, Europa next season basically means Lee's gone too. Noor says, possible we turn it around with slot players clicking. Believe when I see it. I believe when I see it. Big up Sadiq says, when Cal finally goes icon, Vinny will do in his best Jodeci. Callum, out here waiting for you tonight. All right, Sadiq,
I'm
I
not
see
gonna
it.
lie, bro. Your hair does actually grow really fast. You got a trim for New Year's, right?
No, after that, I think I can't remember now. But
Oh,
I have
your hair does grow fast. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
your hair actually does grow fast.
Promo says,
Well,
how can
on
you
the
be
top of your
slot
head,
out?
it does.
Promo says, how can you be slot out and back us to win games? Because sometimes I believe the players will drag us over the line. Promo. Devion or Davon says, I'm just fed up with listening to Grace Jones football knowledge. You have Mohamed El Neni Salah not beating his man one-on-one, and wow, okay.
He's not even here. He's not even here for this.
Yeah, I know. So Devon's just being a diva, basically. Cool, I see it. Big up yourself, diva. Noor says we're senior Carrick like 10 EPL games, managed slots EPL. I mean,
Yeah,
players have come in and played.
Slot came in last year, had never managed a Premier League game. Pep Guardiola had won 6 Premier Leagues out of the last 7, and yet Arne Slot beaten twice and won a league while Pep Guardiola was how many points behind?
Yeah, I don't
CV doesn't matter much in the grand scheme of things.
Akria says Hasab's right. Don't need consistency to make top 5. Okay, so we need 9 wins out of the next 14 games. If that's not consistency, I don't know what is. Shout out to Noise says our fan base too extreme, either too positive, negative. I'd agree with that. Promo says Drift Villa worst squad of top 5, but our 3rd.
No, I don't think they've got the worst squad out of the top 5. They've got a better squad than Chelsea, to be honest.
Acura Slot is killing me slowly with this song. Bradleyan says exactly. So you trust him more than you trust Slot? No, I'm not even going to explain myself. Yes, I trust Liam Rosenior more than I trust Slot, because that's clearly what I said, isn't it? Football Bloods TV says it's weird we're competing with Liverpool for top 4 though. Even though we've got a better squad. Akria says Tom and Cal are making me sound like a top red for FC. Look, I'm not saying anything else. We're gonna take top. We'll get top 3. Everything's perfect. Slot will stay. They will win the league again next season. Everyone's happy now. Can't question anything. You're not allowed to. Even though my comments and my questions were logical on both sides and objective on both sides, but it's cool. Have you guys got anything you want to add?
God forbid, we're just a little bit worried about what the long-term plan is.
No. Why be worried? Liverpool, we're the best at everything. So
yeah, because you know what, 1 game won in a month. That form is good enough to carry us to top 4.
Yeah. What was you saying?
And you know what? It
won a game in January.
League.
Brilliant.
It'll win us the Champions League.
Yeah, win the Champions League and FA Cup. We're walking. Anything you guys want to add?
In fact, why don't we give the manager the new contract now? Let's give him the new contract now.
No, that's too easy. We'll have a bit of drama. We'll say it to the end of the season. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap things up?
Nah, big up everyone as always. And yeah, let's hope that we have some positive results in the next few weeks, man.
If anyone wants to set the doomsday thing or anything to DEFCON 1 or whatever it is, there might be a video coming out on the Tom Little channel soon.
Oh, bloody hell.
I definitely think we're all in agreement that we've had a way below par season. We are still a bit worried. Don't get me wrong, even though I think we'll get top 5, I'm still worried we won't. That's always the case in football, right? So if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen.
Hayes says, good to see you feeling better, Cal. I'm not going to read the last bit because that's a bit mad. But bless up.
I know it's nice to hear your voice again.
Yeah.
Look,
people, we're going to wrap up.
We had a cameo from Minnie Mouse on Monday.
Akira says we could need less than 9 wins out of 14, which means probably a bunch of draws and losses alongside the wins. That's not consistency. You're right, but the likelihood is we might need those.
Let's reassess it in 5 games time, and then we'll see where we are.
We will indeed. People, do smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until we see you on the next one, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish. All right, people. Take care.
Peace.